Good morning to you all. Yesterday we made a historic decision. As you know, I wasn't very optimistic, but we managed to do the decision, and we are happy about this. What, of course, we have to work with is the financial support. What I can assure you that Ukraine will not be left without support. There was a strong will of 26 to provide this support, and there were different ways how we can do this. We will work this out, and probably we'll have another meeting maybe in January to reach an agreement on this. But definitely there is a strong will to do it, to help Ukraine as much as possible. What is today's topic is of course also the defense readiness and also the single market for defense. This has been very important to us because we have to increase our defense expenditure, but we also have to increase the interoperability of the military defense equipment, ammunition that we have. So I'm glad that this is in the conclusions, and we will move on with this.
Just to clarify, if Hungary doesn't come through between now and that emergency summit at the end of January, the 26 will send these 50 billion regardless.
That is the will, that we will definitely find a solution then out. But of course it's much more difficult because you have to think of new instruments, and that means also going to the parliaments, getting a mandate, and it is more difficult this way. But we are working on these ideas. It was clear that we did not come to conclusion yesterday night. It was clear victory on the accession talks, so there was no point that Hungary would give another good news, I would say.
Yesterday, Viktor Orban said he would be actually in favor of not doing it via the MFF, but doing it intergovernmentally. Why do you think is that? Why is he not in favor of doing it the easy way?
Because he doesn't want to be part of it. This is that it is outside the budget. So you can do whatever you can do, but I don't want to be part of it. So that was his explanation for this. But of course we have the tools, and it is easier to use those tools that we already have, because creating new tools means that we have to go to the parliament. We know it is getting increasingly difficult. It is also, we are all democracies, and democracies take time, but Ukraine does not have that time. So how we can build in between, either bridge financing for this period and then move on. But it's important that we have the political will, and we will find a solution.
Prime Minister today said that Prime Minister Viktor Orban, he chose not to be part of it. He said, you can go ahead, but I'm not going to be a part of this. Does the EU have a problem with Hungary? Because how can you work when you don't have unity?
Yes, I mean, I've said several times here before, as long as he says the wrong things but does the right things, we are okay, and we have been united so far, and we were able to deliver the decision on the accession talks yesterday. So it was interesting for the history books how it was done, but I will not talk about this today. But anyway, I think we all are democracies. We all have different worries. We listen to each other and try to find solutions. So maybe this time, Hungary has problems. In some other topic, somebody else has a problem. But we try to find a common solution, and that is the good part of European Union, really.
Prime Minister, you will actually agree on financial aid to Ukraine. What makes you confident that in January it will happen?
Because there's a strong will of the 26 to deliver. In January we have the time to work out the solutions for this time and to work with Hungary as well. So I'm pretty confident that we will have a solution by January, because 26 definitely want this.
Prime Minister, Georgia is already a candidate country. Prime Minister.
No, he did not.
Prime Minister.
Of course, we spoke about the different funds in a sense. For example, when we talked about the opening the accession talks. So if regarding releasing those funds, it is ticking all the boxes, and then the funds are released. The same should apply for Ukraine as well. If the Commission says that they have ticked the boxes, then we should open the accession talks. So in that sense, we talked about the funds, but not really linking those things together.
How strange was the situation?
I will describe it in my memoirs someday, but it's not going to be today. So yeah, it's interesting how the sausage is made.
Georgia is a candidate country now. So what's your message to the country for today, and the main advice for future?
The main advice is that Georgia should also do their homework. I'm also very happy that we were able to grant a candidate status. We know from our own history that this requires a lot of political will and a lot of reforms that you have to do in order to move forward. But I know that the Georgian people have chosen the European path.
And you said it for your memoir.
Opens the door of this organization, as President Michel said in 2013. We'll work on this. Of course, we have to do our own homework as well. Enlargement, absorption capacities, everything in relation to that. But I think that if those countries have fulfilled the criteria, we should be ready by that time. It would be wrong to say that we are not ready if you are ready. So I hope that that goes smoothly.
Will you for your memoir to describe the situation? And if you look in the future, is that the way the EU should work? If someone has to leave the room in order to function?
Someone did not have to leave the room, but wanted to leave the room. So I mean, it's a voluntary organization, and we work here. We are all politicians, I think, who have managed to work themselves up around that table, know what is at stake and how to really compromise. I mean, I've said here before, there's really a true spirit of compromise around that table, listening and trying to find solutions for the worries that different countries have. How we do it, it's another thing, but it's important that we reach a conclusion, a decision, and we are united.
What is the symbol of the accession clause work if the European Union cannot provide any financial aid?
It is a very important political signal. I mean, as somebody said yesterday, when Ukraine is doing Ukraine is struggling in the military side, then we should also provide them political support, and this is the political support to say that we move on with the processes, and Ukraine's future is in Europe. As I said before, we will reach an agreement on the financial aid. There was a clear political will. It was just 3 o'clock already, and it was clear that we are not reaching the solution yesterday night. So we work out the instruments in between. There's definitely going to be a discussion on the Middle East, the views, the situation on the ground, and the conclusions as well. So definitely there's going to be talk about that.
Okay. Do you agree on calling for a ceasefire in Gaza?
We, as Estonia, agreed this in the UN regarding this, and we will discuss this today. So, as EU. Well, we try, but we will, listen around the table and see, because in UN we were not united as European Union. But we will hear the worries and like we always do, try toward the compromises. Okay, thank you.